Thanks, David. Hello, friends. Oh, the bold hands trace a path in the sand, forming places where I am sure to land. Oh, you make me the shape I'm in, you end, then you begin again like music from a violin, molding this melody into my bones and into my skin like clay, like clay. And you find stone and you carve above to below. See a line and you make the right from the wrong. Oh, you make me the shape I'm in, you end, then you begin again like music from a violin, molding this melody into my bones and into my skin like clay, like clay. Turns that'll wind me up, turns that'll wind me up, curves that'll carve me out of nothing. I am something. Hands that'll sculpt me from rock, that'll make me clay. Oh, I am clay. Oh, you make me the shape I'm in, you end, then you begin again like music from a violin, molding this melody, molding this melody into my bones and into my skin like clay, like clay, like clay.
Thank you, Laura. Wow, I love that song. I had never heard that before. Thanks for bringing it
Thank
to
you.
us.
Thank you.
And Chris, if you would lead our meditation.
Gently close your eyes or focus on the beautiful candles on your screen. Become aware of your breathing, breathing in through your nose, filling the space from your abdomen all the way up to your collarbones with air. Hold and exhale slowly out of your mouth. Concentrate on each breath. Visualize your upper abdomen or solar plexus as a clear, still, blue mountain lake. Feel your breath flowing into the lake. With each breath, direct your inner attention to the following positive thoughts: infinite love, infinite peace, infinite wisdom, infinite harmony, infinite healing, infinite light, infinite health, infinite energy, infinite courage, infinite strength. Continue consciously breathing, and as we go into the silence, choose one of these positive thoughts or one of your own to repeat to yourself. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth, recite to yourself the following affirmations on each exhale: infinite love, infinite light, infinite peace, infinite harmony, infinite trust. And we know all is well, and so it is.
Thank you, Chris. That was beautiful. And Linda Yamasaki, could you turn your fan off?
I did.
Okay. Go for it.
I'm sorry. I was okay. Today's reading is from Z. Egloff and Melissa Felipe. Today I take a walk on the bold side. What bold ideas want to be unleashed in me? Today I let them out. First I admit them to myself, then I write them down. Then I take the first steps toward their realization. As I do so, I am invigorated. I feel alive and passionate. Following bold ideas puts me in touch with the energy of creation. Building a relationship with this energy makes me feel alive. I am bold. I commune with the energy of creation. And so it is. And now, please join me as we declare what we believe. There is only one power and one presence active in the universe and in my life. God in everything and everyone. God is the infinite source of love, abundance, harmony, wholeness, intelligence, and joy, expressing as me.
Thank you, Linda. I'm just doing some things here with Zoom in the background. So once again, I'd like to welcome back our guest speaker, Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett. And you've seen her bio before, but I just wanted to mention again that in addition to being the vice president of the Unity Prayer Ministry, which includes Silent Unity. Linda is a popular New Thought author and speaker and a leader within the Unity movement. So we're so happy to welcome you here, Linda, and I'm going to spotlight you.
Well, friends, it's just a joy to be with you again and have a chance to celebrate Sunday again. I've been in contact with a lot of colleagues in the last couple of days since the Supreme Court's ruling, which is just, one more wave in a relentless flow of waves over the past couple of years for so many of us. A lot of ministers were going to totally discard the message that they had planned, and we're going to speak very candidly about the importance of this issue, the issues, and Unity's stance on it. What I'm going to do instead is the message that I'm bringing today is really relevant to what this is all about, and so it's going to be about it, but in a way that really speaks to what can we do about our own feelings? What can we do about processing this, and how can we be a force for positive change? So, I'm going to start with just reminding you of what I know of you. I haven't met most of you face to face. I've been here before. I've connected with some of you in this space. But I don't need to know your story and particularly anything about you to know this truth, that you are divine. I know your name. I know your nature. You are a divine human, and as such, you are the light of the world. And I always remind myself when I say that, not just for others, but say it to myself, it doesn't make us exceptional. It doesn't make you or me exceptional to know this. It's universally the truth about divine humans. But then we can't deny it either, right? I don't want us to deny it either. To me, it's our job description as a divine human to be the light of the world. And so the premise is that it's in every one of us, of course, to be the light of divine love, wisdom, strength, life, all the qualities, all those positive statements that Chris mentioned in the meditation. It's for us to be that, right? But the quality of the light that we shine, of each of those values or principles, the quality of that light, it depends upon our thoughts. We either reflect the light of a dim bulb, right? Or we shine a bright beam of light. And thoughts, of course, that lead toward worry and fear cast a very low light. But elevated thoughts produce a floodlight that broadcasts far and wide. Either way, here's the thing: we serve the world with our thoughts and prayers. We serve the world with our thoughts and prayers. Back in fourth grade, you might go back this far with me. In fourth grade science class, that was around 1964, 65, Mrs. Pencunis taught us, that the building blocks of life are atoms, and that many atoms glommed together form molecules, and then clusters of molecules form matter, and matter is physical reality. Well, quantum physics now is revealing what Mrs. Pencunis never knew, and probably didn't know in the rest of her lifetime, that the foundation of reality is actually invisible. It's non-physical. It's consciousness. Thoughts are building blocks of consciousness. And to be clear, when we say thoughts in New Thought, in metaphysics, we're talking about the mix of thought and feeling, thought and emotion that go together. It's sort of like the chicken and egg syndrome, right? What comes first? Do thoughts arise and then I have feelings? Yes. Do feelings strike me and then I have a thought? Yes, it works both ways. I don't I don't worry about like which comes first. I don't believe there's an always, it's only one way. But the point is that thought and feeling really constitute thought as taught in New Thought. And really, invisible beliefs, our hopes and dreams, the interpretation of our experiences, the trail of our memories, our conditioned patterns of thinking, all of these contribute to the caliber of our consciousness. And consciousness is creative. So, conscious thought, of course, primarily deals with what's happening presently. It centers on, a reason, speculation, assumption, judgment, decision making. Our thought could be reactive or it could be responsive. And of course, there's another whole realm of thought that's always operating, and that's underneath the surface, subconscious thought, right? And that's mainly concerned with past conditions, buried memories, early conditioning, hidden emotions, as well as primal fears. It's what we call the collective consciousness. Um, and that all has a part to play in what we call the body of thought, the body of consciousness in which change becomes possible. So here's the thing for me is when I feel worried about the state of my community, my country, about the world, or when another human made or natural disaster occurs, when we're caught up in that, when we have it, in fact, silent unity often gets the first notice even before it hit the news. People were calling silent unity the other day as soon as the Supreme Court pronounced its ruling. The backlash can be swift and condemning when on Facebook and on social media we see the cry of thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. When horrible violence occurs, mass shootings and these kinds of things, and people respond with, well, thoughts and prayers. I feel for all the families. The visceral response from the masses is, enough with the thoughts and prayers. We need some action. No more thoughts and prayers. Boy, I can understand that, because maybe like you, I've reached some levels of frustration and feeling disconsolate about seeing yet another mass shooting, yet another act of violence, yet another um, ruling that discounts the rights and dignity of some class of humans, some population of humans. And yet I say, but wait a minute. Thoughts and prayers is my business. Thoughts and prayers is my profession. But more important, thoughts and prayers are a fundamental, foundational spiritual practice in the discipline that I subscribe to in unity. Thoughts and prayers have a place. And I think the objection is always just that thoughts and prayers can't stand alone. We know this, that if we end with thoughts and prayers and that's it and nothing ever constructively changes, of course we're frustrated, and that's where that comes from. But unity has this beautiful teaching of transforming thought, of harnessing our spiritual capacities, each of our 12 powers, and all that we could say about the nature of God. And all of those we can use these practices to overcome the limitations of our own consciousness, right? And even the subconscious patterns of thinking. And our primary practice, is meditation. It includes meditation, the silence. It includes elevated mind. In fact, that's what Charles Fillmore called prayer. He called it the most highly accelerated mind action known. So affirmative prayer places us in this elevated mind, and Fillmore called it the superconscious state of mind, or the God standard. It's the ideal. It's not caught up with the present conditions. It doesn't lean into the present conditions as a place to derive a sense of direction, right? And it's not about our past conditions, and it's not even about conditions at all. It's about consciousness. It's about relying upon the greatest truth that we can really know in a time of elevated mind. It's claiming our I am or Christ consciousness. It's considering ourselves to be a divine human. Unity prayer is just so potent a practice when we really practice it, to be able to understand something of the nature of God, to say God is dot dot dot, and claim, God is wisdom, God is strength, God is order, God is power. Any of those descriptors for the indescribable power of God. And then we have to take it further, and prayer further is our practice of claiming that which God is. I am. This is not a calling of the ego, right? It's not an ego fix. It's an elevated mind understanding. It's coming to conclude that if I am to be the light of the world, I must raise my mind to divine mind standard. And I must be able to see that I'm not helpless, but in fact, I am powerful beyond measure for the moment that I'm in. But unity prayer doesn't stop there. This incredible gift of affirmative prayer means that I'm empowered then to have inspired a process of what comes next. What do I do if I know the nature of God, something about God, something about myself? What do I do with it? How do I change the way I've been thinking about this situation? How do I alter my behaviors, my words, the messages that I tell myself and others, the story that I tell? How does that all change when I realize in prayer the truth of my divine nature? So, where we do in prayer, the best effectiveness of affirmative prayer is that we go from the invisible to the visible, right? From the invisible, unformed concept of truth of the power. The power, let's say the power is harmony. To be able to go from that invisible understanding of it to be the visible expresser of harmony, to be the visible evidence of harmony in my actions, to go from the absolute truth of harmony to the relative, how do I then harmonize my relationships? To go from the infinite, all that God is, to the finite, God is harmony, and therefore I'm harmony. To define that nature in an actionable way that I can then do something with that. That's what thoughts and prayers really can do for us. The nomenclature affirmative is very deliberate. Fillmore, continuing that quotation where he said prayer is the most highly accelerated mind action, Fillmore goes on to say prayer is an affirmation of truth that eternally exists but hasn't yet come into consciousness. It comes into consciousness not by supplication but by affirmation. Well, understandable, to affirm is to say an emphatic yes to something. To affirm in prayer is to identify a truth, the truest truth that we can know, that we can claim, and we can embody right here and now in this moment of awareness. Well, I want to give just an example of how this has become just really a living reality for me. I have so many examples, and really, I have so many examples from just these last three years, which I'm not going to lead with because I'm still working on my own thoughts and feelings about all that has taken place through this era of COVID and polarized politics and um, all of it. But I have an example that came from my life when my son Adrian was a teenager and a young adult. That really speaks to this because it was a protracted period of time, several years, just like it feels right now. We're in this several years set of waves of treachery and challenge. So when my son was a teenager and into adulthood, I struggled in my practice of thoughts and prayers about him. Once in a while, I get a glimpse of my son's joyful nature. It peeked through every once in a while, the nature I had known when he was a little boy. But more often in those years, through long stretches of time, Adrian's behavior became distant, secretive, um, dismissive, and belligerent. He became unreachable, except every once in a while, usually late at night when he was most vulnerable because he was sleepy and we could talk. But more often than not, his actions became self destructive, and the more self destructive he was, the more I worried. I'm sure none of you can relate to that if you have children. But really, during sleepless nights when Adrian had missed curfew yet again, I remember sitting on the front steps of the house, my imagination working overtime, in real time technicolor visions of bloody accidents and assaults. And it didn't matter if Adrian was a victim or a perpetrator, he was getting into trouble that could kill him. And I was frightened. And I felt justified in just holding these thoughts, the worrisome thoughts, the scaring myself even more by just my thoughts. I believe because I was witnessing my son being more and more evasive and dishonest, witnessing his disrespectful withdrawal from our family. So it was not easy, and I'll say it even now. It is not easy to disregard the awful appearance and instead to elevate my mind to truth and to hold steady there. It was not easy, but I was dying inside, and my son's behavior was becoming more and more frightening. So as a Unity Truth student, I knew I had some spiritual tools to employ, and I became so desperate that I had to prove their value for myself. I'll tell you, the hardest work of my life has been thoughts and prayers. I deliberately activated my great power of imagination in more constructive ways, right? I began to deliberately conjure up memories of my son when he was an innocent little boy, the joy that exuded from him every day. I would remember going into his room and, when he was awakening, and his little smile would just light up my life. And the joy throughout the day of being with him and the pure pleasure of new discoveries and his curiosity for life and all of that were just, life was just beautiful. And he was just this innocent, beautiful, divine human. And so I kept having to go back to that image of him because I couldn't find it in the present image of him. Uh, but I reminded myself daily that despite his present actions, Adrian is a divine human imbued with all the wisdom, understanding, and power that he could ever need for life. All that God is, my son is. I wish that I could say to you that I held steadily and easily with those thoughts, but I did not. I had to exercise these thoughts and prayers. I had to repeatedly return to that image of his innocence and his divine identity, knowing the truth about him and knowing it for him at a time when he seemed unaware and uninterested. Those uneasy years bore fruit in my ability to stand more steady in truth during disturbing times. Adrian is now 42 years of age. He's married to Emily. Together they brought me a grandson, Kai, who is 2 years old. My son has returned to himself. The joy that I witnessed in this little boy is back. I see it in his role as husband and daddy. His smile lights up the room just as it had from the beginning. I want to ask if you don't mind, if I could have access to be able to share my screen. um, yeah, I do have access. I want to just, if you don't mind me indulging, I'd just like to share a picture of my son and his family. Since I spoke of him, I'd really like for you to see the glory that I see there. So here's my son Adrian, his wife Emily, and little Kai. Just last week. These are, look at that smile. Just look at that smile, lighting up the world. So, you know, did I stop sharing? Yeah, I did. Okay. So I share that because, I think I need always just a real story. I need a real example of like how do I change this? I mean, how do I change the terrible thoughts that I have about all that's going on around me? And we all have our own thoughts and we scare ourselves, don't we? I scare myself. And I will say that it's really helpful to just admit to, what has been the content of my thought process in these days. And I want us to focus on that just so that we can turn it around for a few moments, if you don't mind. If you would join me in just closing your eyes and coming into touch for yourself of, what is your Adrian? What is your Adrian right now? What is it that has your blood boiling? Or what is it that has you feeling desperate or disillusioned with the world or with the country? What is it that has you frightened? Just admit it, just in a way that you can just hold it, just gently, to be able to have compassion for your human experience and the thoughts and feelings that arise from human experience. We're not here to pretend them away, but to hold them gently as we treat them in prayer. And so for whatever that thought and feeling is that has felt like it's had a hold on you, what do you know about the nature of God that you need to know? Where's the power here? So say to yourself, God is, and what is God to you? What is that very power that you need to know in the midst of this time? That God is order, or God is faith, God is release, God is life, God is power. What is it that God is that you know? And now ask, invite, in fact, command your very thoughts, your human thoughts and feelings, to agree that if it's true about God, it is true about you. And be willing to at least say in this moment of enlightened thought, of elevated mind, to say, I am that life. I am. I am that order. I am. I am that. I am. For I am a divine human. Knowing this, I need not shrink from the feelings of overwhelmment, the feelings of what can I do? I'm just one person. I don't need to shrink from that because I have within me and access to all the power that God is. It is what I am. And now let me just take one aspect of that that I am willing to claim. And let me just say to myself, what could I do with that? Knowing that's the truth about me, what could I do that I haven't been doing? What could I do? What could I think differently? How do I think differently about this going forward? How do I, instead of succumbing to the feelings of despair or disillusionment, how do I instead cast a powerful vision for the world as I want it to be? And how do I hold myself accountable for the thoughts going forward and the actions going forward that help to make that kind of life possible? And so, taking a deep breath, say to yourself, I can, I am able, for God is this and I am this, and therefore all power is within me to act. And so it is. So, friends, this is our assignment. You are the light of the world. The light flowing from thoughts that lead to worry and despair is very dim. But we're not here to be dim bulbs, are we? We're here to broadcast the brightest light, the harmony and the unity of divine love, nothing less than that, and it's the only thing that will save the day. You must know your name. You must know your nature and lead from there. Serve the world with your thoughts and prayers and follow through with inspired action. And so it is. Thank you so much for the opportunity to reflect today with you.
Amen. Thank you so much. Oh. This song is a traditional prayer hymn, I think. It's preparing ourselves to be a sanctuary, and I think a lot about that in my own life, being this vessel for the divine, first inspired by this quote from Exodus, and the divine said, make for me a sanctuary and I'll dwell among you. And I've always heard that as I will dwell within you. Make yourself a sanctuary. And I think that's part of our work in our prayer and, prayers and thoughts, and really identifying what we're thinking, and our energy is also that connection to this physical, and part of my practice is making myself, and thank you for listening, I just a lot stirring, but allowing myself to see how big inside I can get, how much space I can create inside, and with that practice, kind of seeing where the little congestion spots are. But anyhow, so we can take this wonderful talk and all this inspiration, and then let's just ground it here with our knowing that we are the place where the divine is. Oh, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. Oh, prepare me to be your sanctuary. God, I am pure and holy and tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. I God, I am yours. Oh, I am your sanctuary. I am yours. I am yours. Make me your sanctuary. So prepare me to be your sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary. I am your sanctuary. I am yours. Prepare me. I am your sanctuary.
Thank you, Laura. That was so beautiful. So beautiful. I love that song. Thank you, Linda. And at this time, let's go within for a moment of prayer. Just sealing this message and this music, just savoring it for a moment, this space that we're in as our sanctuary. And as we recall the I am, the Christ consciousness, the energy beneath the molecules, beneath the atoms, it's all energy. And that's where we connect with our divinity. That's where the wonderful power of our thoughts and prayers are born. And so today I would like for us to call into our mind's eye all of those who may be affected and will be affected by the Supreme Court's decision. We envision people coming together to help those who are the most impacted, those who will be impacted over the years, probably. But we also envision listening to those who may disagree with us, hoping that we may seek to understand and that a dialogue may be created instead of rejecting them in our mind and heart. We see a solution in that way. Further, we pray for guidance for our country, not giving up the continuous fight for equality for all. We also celebrate today with and for the LGBT community, envisioning a reality where all people are accepted exactly as they are, exactly as they are. So we just also bring anyone, any place, any situation, anything weighing upon us right now into this prayer field. Raising our energy high and visualizing, as Linda said, visualizing and picturing what's possible. And so it is. And at this time, I'm going to share my screen and ask that you help me bless the love offerings that come in each week and each month that sustain and allow unity to continue as we work our way into towards the 75th year in a couple of years. We're so proud of that. And so please say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. These generous love offerings do good work in our community and beyond, and they are returned to us, multiplied abundantly. And Linda, I'm gonna spotlight you. The wrong Linda, Linda Yamasaki. Here we go.
Thank you to our special guests, Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett and Laura Berman, for your thoughtful and inspiring words and music. Find out about Linda's events at www.ur-divine.com and hear more music from Laura at www.laurabermanmusic.com. The Women's Namaste group meets this Tuesday at 7 p.m., facilitated by Donna Gandor. For more details, contact Deanna Barnett. We are grateful for your generous donations. Our virtual offering basket can be found on our website at the address shown on the screen. We will also put the link in the chat where you can click to donate. Thank you.
I'm like trying to type here. I'll do my best to type a link in here, Linda. There you go. It worked. A little sloppy, but it worked. Thanks, Linda. And now let's say our closing prayer together. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And Laura, I believe you have a closing song for us. And you want to tell us about where the song came from?
Yeah, so we'll just sing together. This was actually written by Donna Michael. I am a light in this world, a light in this world. It's pretty easy if you don't know it. Just thought it would be a good way to send us out. And I am just so grateful to be here. Thank you, Linda, and thank you, David, and the community. And thank you, technology. Here we go. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright, I do, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. Let's know it for each other. Here we go. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. You are. You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. You shine. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. We are a light, yeah, we are a light. We are a light in this world, I know we are. We are a light, we are a light. We are a light in this world, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright, I know we do. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We shine.